it's the fault of our leaders. They let them come in and come in. No one can stop them. Maybe they have a deal. We don't know. We just blind. We are grassroots. We don't know anything.
(1,750 kilometres east of northern Australia lies the Pacific nation of Vanuatu. This Pacific archipelago has been the focus of Chinese investment in the Pacific for the past decade. Chinese investments in Vanuatu are ever present and include new roads and infrastructure projects, as well as sports arenas, tourist sites and education institutions. For the local people known as Nivan, this Chinese presence is the source of increasing anxiety about the future of their nation. Local Nivan leader Charlie Falau explains.
Well, to me, it started slowly, but as you can see from now on, and the Chinese coming in, and if they come in as a consultant or something, and then they will go back, it would be good. People say, oh yes, they help in such a way that would build Vanuatu. But then when they come and start getting over buildings and buying lands, and there goes Chinese in villa, and you don't have any space more.
Tourism is the mainstay of the economy, but for many of the 277,000 people who live here, poverty is a daily reality. Nearly 40% of the population have no access to electricity, and the poverty rate is around 13%. Vanuatu has largely relied on aid and investment from its neighbours Australia and New Zealand, but in recent years this has been in decline.
Yeah, a lot of donors leave Vanuatu, and they leave when the country still needs them. So like here with Vanuatu, we don't have any major investment that could sustain the whole country.
Chinese private investments in Vanuatu are booming. On the main island of Awhate, on 86 hectares of open land, the Chinese commercial development Rainbow City has started construction. Supported by private Chinese-backed investment, it is the biggest residential development in Vanuatu. Locals here have been concerned by the scale of a development that threatens to overrun their way of life.
I saw in 2017 they start building the wall around the city. I think if they build city here, this place will not longer good anymore. Many people will do problems because in this side we live like we live in a peaceful place, no noise coming. We live. But the China comes, many of our friends.
This massive walled expanse of land will eventually become a mini-city for foreigners. Over the next 10 years, the buildings will come to dwarf the surrounding villages, private homes and small resorts that neighbour it. But it is the uncertainty about its ultimate purpose that is of most concern to locals here.
I think the city is just fake. They try to do something inside, but they just put a city to cover that up. But I don't know what they are doing inside.
On a smaller scale, Chinese ownership of tourist sites and shops has taken hold. For local vendors like Ruben, running a small business has become increasingly challenging.
It may happen long time finish. Yes. It may happen long time finish. All Chinese only come, only take them all place here, long time finish. Every Chinese all stolo town place here. All Chinese name, all them every stolo town place here. You know got one black man, and you them pelo place here, town place here, all Chinese name everyone. Yes.
Back in Charlie's village, a meeting of the chiefs is in progress. And the topic of the day is the rise in Chinese influence and a cash for passport scheme that is making citizenship for sale in Vanuatu.
Yes, osem lo side lo passport mi kat fiano mo lo research osem mi one revenue kam lo country. But mi kat fiano mo se once you current passport, then you come osem one neutralized citizen. Then on neutralized citizen all is allow to vote under the constitution of Vanuatu. And suppose all every year every time lo general election ballot box is tako local toni.
Sales of passports have been booming, mostly to mainland Chinese. Local government worker Tony Talili explains.
The main intention is to generate income that has been, the revenue that has been lost during and after the disaster, the cyclone bomb that hit Vanuatu in 2015. But the real reason behind the sale of passports or citizenships, the citizens of the country didn't really know about it.
At the heart of this Chinese expansion in the Pacific sits the Belt and Road Initiative, a $1 trillion infrastructure project that aims to connect the world through trade, with China at the centre. In late 2018, Vanuatu became an official Belt Road partner nation, but again the Nivan have been left in the dark.
Like I said, the information is not spread around the country to inform people about what is happening, which is said that there's something happening already. There's an agreement that has already been signed, but the exact reason or why these agreements are signed and all this are not made clear by the government to the people.
Many have suggested this interest in the Pacific is part of a debt trap strategy. Vanuatu already owes around $130 million to China, which accounts for roughly half of its external debt and represents just over 13% of its annual GDP. Julie Talili, a commerce student at the University of South Pacific, explains why debt is of concern to the Nivan.
All this partnership, along the partnership there will be debt. So government, it's like Vanuatu government is a lot of debt for. So I know one day Chinese people or Chinese government will easily take over Vanuatu. Vanuatu government actually doesn't have enough to give back to Chinese government. So in return, maybe he can sold the whole land for Vanuatu to Chinese people. Yeah.
For Australia and the United States, the growing level of Chinese government interest in Vanuatu has been of major concern. This is compounded by the Chinese development of Loganville Wharf, a port big enough to handle warships. Both China and Vanuatu denied the report of military presence, but for locals, they're aware that this port could represent a Chinese military foothold.
We need transparency. If they are here because they wanted to set up a military force, I would say no. I don't like it. Even if America wants to start a military camp in here, I would say no. This is my country. I want it peaceful like this. Keep it as this.
For government, both national and local, Chinese investment is seen as a necessary contribution to the nation as a whole. Port Vila Council President Mr. Vitoko Katawa hopes new legislation will alleviate some of the concerns of Nivan locals.
All benefits were me Savelu government blow China me been give him law Vanuatu me all infrastructures more people too all benefit lahem. Next time all investors will come all invest inside all place inside Vanuatu by all sign one agreement with the locals Polycam partners. We hope say by is give him more opportunity. All people all must have a fright give him out all grounds all more fright tell them say Chinese come take him be Polycat Chinese all is collaborate together.
The small archipelago of Vanuatu continues to be a hotbed of Chinese investment and expansion. Whether new laws protect Nivan livelihoods and help improve Vanuatu's least developed nation status remains to be seen. But for the Nivan, they know without strong leadership, the future of their nation could be in Chinese hands.
I don't agree with the government selling our own country. People should vote against the leaders who support the Chinese invention in Vanuatu.